God is Hilarious, and the Real OG Part 3. Welcome back to our series on God's epic gangster and hilarious antics. Today, we're diving into the wild ride of Jonah and his mission from the big man upstairs. So picture this. God tells Jonah, "Hey buddy, I need you to head over to Nineveh and give him a piece of my mind." Sounds simple, right? But Jonah? He wasn't having any of it. He tries to pull a fast one and skips town. I mean, who can blame the guy? Nineveh wasn't exactly the friendliest neighborhood. But here's the kicker. God's not one to take no for an answer. He's like, "Jonah, you can run, but you can't hide." And sure enough, Jonah ends up in the belly of a giant fish. Now that's what I call divine intervention. Now let's talk about that fish. The fish god, Dagon, was the principal god of Nineveh. Around Jonah's time, it was believed that Dagon was responsible for the abundance of the land and its inhabitants. They would give offerings to the god with the hopes of receiving blessings in return. Jonah's mission from God was to tell the people of Nineveh that if they repented of their sins, the one true God would forgive them. But this idea was in direct conflict with the belief system of Dagon. According to their traditions, if you sinned, you had to sacrifice to Dagon for penance. Jonah's mission threatened this relationship, so the people of Nineveh would be very resistant to his message. Jonah knew this too. That's why he boarded a ship headed in the opposite direction of Nineveh. God also sent the fish because he knew seeing a prophet get spit out by a giant fish would get the Ninevites to pay attention to Jonah's message of repentance. As his journey ended inside the fish, he was reminded of the importance of following God's will. The people of Nineveh learned that God speaks in powerful ways and will always be heard. They thought that their god Dagon had spit Jonah out at their feet, and that it wanted them to pay attention to Jonah. So they listened and repented from their sins. Even when it seems impossible, God can work in mysterious ways to ensure his message is heard and people get saved. The Ninevites saw this firsthand as Jonah was miraculously brought back to shore by a giant fish they worshipped. If that isn't gangster, I don't know what is. Hit that follow button and let's dive deeper into the divine comedy together.